Welcome back to Pisobilities. This is Gita Gopalan of Colaiko Foundation. We are still here with Noreen Bautista from the Institute for Social Enterprise and Development, and she continues to enlighten us about the goings-on at the World Economic Forum last January in Davos. For our viewers, please send us your opinions and questions to 0917-853-7333. Do indicate your name and location so we can properly acknowledge you. All right, so meron pang, you mentioned there are other themes that came out. Aside from, I guess, the overarching theme really is the importance of focusing again on people, and social enterprise, social business, rethinking the way traditional business, traditional economics goes, no? Ano pa yung mga tidbits mo para sa atin?
Okay, there's one interesting session. It's called hyperconnectivity.
Hyperconnectivity, okay.
So it talked about yung technology ngayon, how it's making us all so connected. So it talked about the opportunities and the problems. So I was in a room full of business leaders, but they were all talking as like parents. Kasi they're all saying, hey mga kabata, mga anak ko, they're all in the iPads and the smartphones. And and you see that in the young people in our generation, I guess, that we're also into our Facebook and our social media, and we all want to be connected. And there was a neuroscientist in the room that explained how it's actually rewiring our brains.
Okay.
How technology is making us all short-term memory lang. Ganon. And it also talked about yung mga hazards noon, like you hear of people suffering from lack of sleep, and there's a lot of depression or disorders na rin happening. And even for the young kids, because at a young age, babies pa lang sila, they're exposed to all this technology. So we talked a lot about that. And the challenge posed was, how do we, equip the young people, or help the young people manage themselves amidst that technology? So again, there was a lot of talk about the person ulit, kasi it's all about managing yourself kasi and I had this interesting conversation. Meron kasi, I don't know if your viewers would have heard the acronym FOMO. Para siyang YOLO. Alam mo yung YOLO, di ba?
Yeah.
Yun. It's a millennial generation thing. Yung FOMO, sinasabi yan sa social media, it's called the fear of missing out.
Okay.
Kaya palaging gusto natin sa YouTube, alam natin yung mga controversies, what's happening. Kasi parang, you have to know this, fear of missing out. So that we're always connected. But there's also this trend called the joy of missing out. That because you're so interconnected, you just want to stop and you just want to, disconnect. And you also see that trend happening. So I shared that it's actually what some of my friends are already experiencing. And that was one thing that enlightened the group, that there is this group also that's trying to go back to the basics. So you'd be interested to know, ang daming mga sessions din on mindfulness. Being aware.
Being quiet.
Quiet. Kaya nauso ngayon yung mga yoga, mga meditation. Because it's actually in that trend din kasi people are so connected with technology na nakakalimutan nila yung mga basics. Like you're in a room, family kayo, dapat family meal, pero lahat
everyone's
kayo
focused on their own thing. Okay.
So it's again about,
it's the new TV.
I know, right? So it's again going back to yung social talaga na values. So that was interesting. Yeah, that's one of the most interesting topics.
The challenge of connectivity. What you've been sharing with us recently, it's more about like individuals and stuff. No?
Right.
How about like industries? I mean, lahat sila nagsasama-sama, I guess like in terms of connectivity, you have all the, telcos there or something.
That's true.
Are there any like things that they're discussing about how like industries are moving forward or changing?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, nakakatuwa kasi everyone recognizes the role of social media and mobile technology. I think that's already a fact. Kapag magnenegosyo ka, you have to use social media. Everyone's connected there. And especially, we talked also about trends in mobile. Kailangan kasi ang mobile penetration, lalo na dito sa Asia, ang lakas.
Yes.
So, when you're getting into business, for example, you already have to think yung website mo, hindi lang dapat website, dapat pati mobile phone.
Yeah.
And you have this new trend called the wearable technology. So that's the next trend ngayon. Soon you have the Google Glass, right?
Yeah.
Yung eyeglasses.
And the watches and
the
stuff.
watches. And soon you'll have even clothes na swipe mo lang, iba na yung kulay ng damit. And actually, this is something it's already in development. I mean, it's not anymore science fiction. So you have all these technologies then na yung reality mas magiging infused na with the technology. So it's like this, they call it augmented reality. That's what they say. And yes, it's still when the companies were talking about it, they still point to how they will use the potential of it for good naman. So, you had this session also with the people from Google, Yahoo, and all these tech companies. They were talking a lot about yung data, yung big data, how all these things with
because
the people.
everyone's so connected, you have a huge amount of information about
Yes.
everyone.
So how could you use that for social good? And actually, you see that applied, for example, sa Yolanda. You know, how mamamap mo yung mga tao, saan yung location nila, how will you channel relief goods to where it's needed. And in cities, in governance, they touched on that, how you could use
urban planning, I guess.
Urban planning, and even for the mayors to sort of get the pulse of what the citizens are. So there was this mayor from Canada who used smartphones. He has an app na basically it's the citizens who decide what the city will be. So they have this feedback mechanism. And ganun dapat that was one of the thrust din sa WEF, yung role ng cities na maging platforms to engage your citizens, and you could use technology to do that. So mayors right now that's what they said, they should be more like social media managers na parang nakikinig ka lang sa ano sinasabi ng mga tao, and you have this platform where they could, air out what's happening and what they want from their city. And you just have to be willing to empower and get the citizens to contribute. And that's basically how they also termed for the local governance naman. You could use technology for that.
I see. Interesting.
Very interesting.
I wonder how long it will take our local government to adopt those kinds of mechanisms.
Yeah, interesting. Actually, we meet some local government officials who are forward thinking in that. Kasi kami sa institute, we actually have projects in with local government units, mayors, governors, because we actually also want to engage them to help inspire more entrepreneurs or encourage more entrepreneurs. So we're working actually with very forward-thinking mayors, and they recognize this. They have to harness technology also to get feedback with their citizens. So that's a hopeful sign. Yeah,
that's good. Kasi I mean, like especially for that, kadalasan kasi what happens is they issue a consultation, but really only a few handful people are invited, and you don't know if you really get what people really want. I guess.
Yes.
What else? What else is going on?
Another thing, economic-wise, they were talking about the ASEAN integration. So, nakakatuwa. That was actually one of the most overwhelming sessions kasi ako lang yung young person doon.
I see.
This was a dinner with the OECD.
Okay, that's the
Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So, they invited us to talk about the ASEAN integration. So, I don't think a lot of people are still aware that, the Southeast Asia will have more fluidity in terms of business
ito yung,
coming in.
I think starting next year, right?
Yeah, starting next year.
Dito sa region natin, the ASEAN region, will have, I think, I'm not sure lang of the schedule, but lower tariffs or walang tariffs ata or something.
Yeah, and they're talking about, it's, you won't be anymore competing with the entrepreneurs in your country. You'd be competing with those in Thailand, Indonesia, Bangkok.
Which is actually already happening now.
It's actually happening now. Oo nga eh. So, there was a lot of talk about that, but it also talked about the challenges, how, and that made me actually more aware na, kasi tayo sa Pilipinas, minsan we're stuck in our own, we think we have all these problems, but interestingly, all the other countries have similar problems then. We're all developing. We all have different cultures and various scales also of challenges in the region. So it was very interesting actually to have that because I was made more aware na hindi lang pala ako Filipino, Asian din ako. I'm from Southeast Asia. And right now, when we talk to our social entrepreneurs, that's also what we try to tell them na you think about the whole region. You're not just in the Philippines. I mean, you have the potential to scale your business in your whole ASEAN region. So that's how we want to also train our fellow entrepreneurs to think. They have to think Asia also when they plan their businesses and whatnot. Yun.
I see. If there's, I guess, one thing that will be changing or that I guess is also strengthened in terms of your strategy and what you do, what you're advising to your entrepreneurs, aside from thinking more global, I guess, or at least regional first.
Yeah.
What else are your takeaways na have impacted or that will be impacting the way you do things now moving forward?
For me, it's the first thing I mentioned. It's about being clear about your values and knowing that. So, in another session on values also, I learned that there's this, it's called the New Social Covenant. So, it's something that the WEF people, they gathered all these business leaders, prime ministers, heads of state, to sort of come together to, ano yung common values ba that we could all agree on despite our faith and whatever. And basically, there are three things. So it's commitment to the common good, human dignity, and stewardship of the environment. So whether entrepreneur ka, economics person, technology,
writer,
artist, you know, you do what you do, basta, you know, it's along those lines na it's all about the human person, you're pursuing the common good. And at the end of the day, there was a lot of talk kasi on purpose. So, purposeful organizations, purpose in governance. But at least this is also what our foundation believes. It's also the purpose of the person. So, you know, whether it be, you know, I believe in a healthy lifestyle, then it means lahat ng ginagawa mo is subscribing to that values. And I think that's what I see kasi parang that's the lens that I was able to develop na kahit anong field yan, basta yung ginagawa mo, it's integrated with who you really are and what you really believe in. And I think I could relate that to yung talk ni Cardinal Tagle nga on being authentic. Because I think that was touching on that Parang, yun nga, it's all about being authentic. Pursuing something na it's about you. Kaya nga tayo sa Pilipinas, parang when we develop our economies, we should have a Philippine identity, a Filipino identity, even with our brands. And this is what we tell our entrepreneurs. You're doing a fashion brand. Make it Filipino, global, pero dapat Filipino pa rin yung essence, yung values and whatnot. So, it's about those soft things And in the last talk of the WEF, the challenge kasi is the courage to act on your values. That was the last speech
given.
Yung
parang call to action.
Call to action. Kasi yun nga, I mean the WEF is always criticized as all talk, di ba? Parang ano nangyayari doon. Pero totoo, it's all talk, but the talk helps you understand where people are coming from and see yung commonalities nila
So it's not a type of gathering wherein you're really planning out something to do. It's more of connecting and understanding.
And being parang allowing yourself to learn from the others. And right now, it really helped me understand yung work that we do. It affirmed actually what we're doing, but in the context naman of the global context din At I think for the Filipinos also especially, nakaka-empower kasi honestly, I think we're in the right path with the culture that we have and the growth of our economy. Yes, alam ko marami tayong problema, pero it's all about people kasi, and people always say it's the Filipinos that are really, the strength of this country. I've seen that na parang we have what it takes to really improve whatever we need to improve. yeah.
You mentioned earlier there are some resolutions in the WEF. Like what kind of anything key, I guess, especially for the Philippines moving forward?
Right. Well, I think the WEF kasi, it's a convener kasi. So it really is just about pulling people from all over to talk. But it really depends on those people din kasi on what they'll do with that talk. For the Philippines, the conversation will continue because we are actually hosting the World Economic Forum East Asia Summit.
I see.
So this is actually going to be in May this year. So May, it's going to be somewhere in Makati. East Asia, so people from Southeast Asia and even some parts of China, even Australia, they're going to be coming here. And it's a big thing. I mean, the last year it was in Myanmar, every time the WEF goes into a country, it really uplifts the image of the country and brings a lot of opportunities. So I think that's something that your audience...
Is that something normal people can participate in, or by invitation yan?
It is by invitation, but as you know what the WEF does, it always opens the open forums online. People could participate. And there's also a batch of global shapers from East Asia who are coming. And yung global shapers naman sila yung nag-engage ng mga kabataan din eh. So like when we were there in Davos, kami yung nagtitweet ng mga Facebook. So we try to engage the young people in the conversation din eh. So
there's a way for them to peek into what's going to happen in the WEF, East Asia Summit.
Yes.
Here. Okay. Is there like a website you can go to?
Yeah, they could always go to the WEF website. That's weforum.org. And actually, all the very interesting forums are all there. They're all have live streams and whatnot.
Okay.
And I really invite everyone to download also yung mga reports nila, like yung mga trends, because they're very, very helpful. And for me, coming from an experience like that, it's impossible na hindi magbabago yung mga ginagawa mo eh. Kasi, I mean, the trends right now, they're all interconnected eh. Parang dinidisrupt talaga yung mga bagay-bagay. Lalo, technology.
So things are changing.
Things are changing, basically. So it would really help if we are aware about that. Para we could innovate also.
Okay. Anything you'd like to invite people to learn more about the Institute for Social Enterprise?
Right. So I invite everyone to visit our website. It's Institute SED or institutesed.com. We're basically here to develop game-changing entrepreneurs because we believe it's really through entrepreneurship that we could help our country. And we want entrepreneurs who are also grounded on values and profitable but grounded on purpose and values. So that's what we're here for. So you can check out our programs there.
Okay, thanks Noreen for joining us today and for sharing with us some things that you've learned about the world and what's going on and what's coming for everyone. So thank you for joining us. And for you, our viewers, please check out www.onewealthynation.com for more information about building the nation through our own personal responsibilities to ourselves and our family, our community, and our nation. So check out also our upcoming seminar this Saturday. That's the Investability Workshop, and we already have weekly events that are ongoing. So check them out at www.colaycofoundation.com. And also, please visit our new website, www.pisobilities.tv. Talagang interconnected na, puro online na lahat, no? Where you can watch and tune into past episodes of Pisobilities at the Global News Network. Thank you to our crew here at GNN, Baby, Rolly, Jigs, Mateo, and Reyes, and of course, John. This has been your host, Gita Gopalan of Colayco Foundation. See you here again at Pisobilities at the Business Portal, your gateway to business trends and opportunities.